has two and Mathis. Okay. Yeah. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is in session. Court is in session. 3 dockets. We have an announcement docket, pretrial conference docket, and the trial docket. First 2 cases are on the trial docket. They are cause numbers 23CCCR 2358 and cause number 23CCCR 2359. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Michael Lewis Cagle. Mr. Cagle is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Cagle, you can take your mic off mute. Mr. Cagle, how are you doing?
Pretty good today.
That's good. Now, Mr. Cagle, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Lindsay Scott. Attorney Scott, how are you doing?
Your Honor.
And state is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Scott, what is your announcement?
I'm not ready for trial on the case, Your Honor. We're ready on Mr. Mason's case today.
Okay, state.
State's ready on Mathis, Your Honor. And that was the agreement that we had that we would try Mathis first before.
So, okay, it's not ready on. Okay. In case we have on a trial document. Okay, let me. Just left. Have a prosecutor. Okay, let me just hold on these 2 cases right now to get our trial order. Okay, next case is cause number 23CCCR 2380. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Roderick Dwayne Mathis. Mr. Mathis, would you please come forward? Oh, we had a number 1 setting. I just saw that. Okay, Mr. Mathis, your full name is Roderick Dwayne Mathis?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Mathis?
Doing good.
That's good. Mr. Mathis, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Lindsay Scott. Attorney Scott, what is your announcement in Mr. Mathis' case? Ready? Okay, state.
State's ready.
All right. Apparently, this is a number 1 case. We have a number 1 setting on it. Okay. Now, our jury is scheduled to come in today at 1:30. So you need to be back at 1:30 so we can pick our jury. Okay, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. And then we're going to reset Mr. Michael Cagle's cases. Mr. Cagle, your cases are going to be reset. Your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And well, actually, you can, your resets are going to be sent to your bondsman, and your attorney will have your resets. So stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You are free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you. Person that's on Zoom that has Anthony Sr., would you please take your mic off of mute and state your full name?
Anthony Williams, Sr.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you can put your mic back on mute. Thank you. as a full-time paid employee of a state agency or political subdivision. Do you understand that condition? Now, condition number 3, the defendant shall wear a global position monitoring system device at the defendant's expense with written verification being submitted to the court within 3 days of you getting the GPS device. Now, the court has been informed that there is a warrant out for your arrest for a felony case. So you're going to be taken into custody. That global position and monitoring system device shall be attached before you are released from the jail. Do you understand that? Okay. The global position and monitor, the GPS device, shall be attached to you before you are released from the jail. Do you understand that? All right. So follow the bailiff. Cases. Okay. He has a felony warrant.
Wasn't aware of it. The last one.
I need to make a, I need a copy of this. We need a copy of that. And we're gonna send it to the jail.
I have one more case.
Yeah, okay.
Andrew, I think the case has been indicted.
Katrina Corinthian Caesar.
What?
Yeah, it's. I was just saying that it's a case.
Oh,
That really
yeah.
Okay. Miss Caesar. Your full name is that Katrina Corinthian Caesar? How are you doing, Miss Caesar? That's good. Miss Caesar, let me see if got some bond conditions on this one. Miss Caesar, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, what is your announcement in Miss Caesar's
Your Honor, the
case?
case was reset for us to receive discovery, and we have now received everything, including the video. What I'll need is just a standard reset, and we have an offer now from the state, and I have all the discovery. I'm going to set up an appointment with my client, and we'll be able to either dispose of the case or make an announcement for trial at the time.
This is Miss
Trent
Caesar. Yeah, I don't see any. She's on the
So there's
announcement
a
document.
standard bond condition.
Yeah, I don't see this as an assault.
So standard in he's just gonna have it.
We're gonna make a,
In every case, like there is conditions on the law.
And honestly, there's something on the 17th. This was.
okay, Miss Caesar. I have some standby conditions that I'm going to read to you. You'll be able to get a copy before you leave here today. And the title of the document is Standby Conditions in County Code Law Number 2. Following the return of criminal information in County Code Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional condition. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. You understand that condition? And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. You understand that condition? Now, condition number 4 does not apply. However, condition number 5 does apply. And it states the defendant is prohibited from possessing a firearm and ammunition unless the defendant is a peace officer as defined by section 1.07 the Texas Penal Code, actively engaged in employment as a sworn full-time paid employee of a state agency or political subdivision. Do you understand that condition? Now, Ms. Caesar, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked. If your bond is revoked, the warrant issued for your arrest, you'll be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. You will get a copy of these bond conditions. Your case is going to be reset. What is the reset date?
Preferably on a Wednesday, Your Honor, or Friday if possible. Just out of scheduling, Your Honor. I appreciate the court's consideration.
Second is a Friday, is it okay?
Oh, wait. Do we do the Wednesday before that?
That's
Yes,
September.
that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Oh, you say
July.
September. Oh,
July.
July 31st?
The Wednesday's fine, 31st is fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
About your other case, Judge, are we gonna set that with the felony?
Yeah,
Well,
wow.
it's probably gonna be the felony. Whatever, please, go ahead and do it. I mean,
Is the felony, the
system-
felony is not set
Right, it's not saying, you know.
because, once he
Understand.
gets out of custody, they'll give it a day.
the system.
So we'll just wait.
Watch it.
Yeah.
The
okay.
system will take care of it. We appreciate it.
Okay, so this case is reset to July 31st, 2024. We need a copy, you need to give her a copy of these bond conditions. She need to make a copy. And, your attorney is gonna get you a reset, and your bond conditions. Once you get your reset on your bond conditions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And I think, Mr. Paget,
Yes, Your Honor.
this is your last case, is that
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor. Thank
You
you.
free to go as well?
Excuse.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
get your reset.
Yes, sir. We're not going anywhere.
Okay, you said what?
Boston and all that.
Okay. Okay. Cleveland Thomas, cost numbers 23 CCCR 1407. Oh, this here was found? Did we have oh, that's right, we already took care of that. We didn't go forward on that. I didn't think we had an informal inquiry on it.
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Thomas, your full name is Cleveland Thomas?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Thomas? That's good. Mr. Thomas, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Benjamin Jeffers. Attorney Jeffers, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. State is represented in these cases by Attorney Haley Simmons. Attorney Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Jeffers, what is your announcement? And this case is on the trial docket. What is your announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Simmons and I have been discussing, we think we might be able to get a resolution outside of trial.
Today?
We're working on it, Judge. There's a couple more things we need. to
Okay, well, I'll just hold,
Agreement.
okay, I'll just hold on it for right now. Okay,
Yes.
just go have a seat, Mr. Thomas. We'll call you back up. And let me see, Mr. Jeffries, I think you had.
Had the patrol.
You have Shayna Carroll,
Yes.
Shayna Marie Pivotal Carroll. Miss Carroll, your full name is Shayna Marie Pivotal Carroll. How are you doing, Miss Carroll? You doing all right? Now, Miss Carroll, your case is on the court's announcement. Now, you represented by your attorney, Attorney Ben Jeffers. Attorney Jeffers, what is your announcement?
With Ms. Carroll, we have a piece of information that I sent to the state for review. I don't believe they've had time to do that. I just sent it this morning.
Oh, okay.
ask for one more
Okay,
reset
I'm
just
on-
to have that.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on the pretrial conference docket. This case is,
Yes, sir.
uh, getting up there, so we need to get it ready for trial if it's going to trial. Okay, so we're gonna reset this on the pretrial conference docket. Give us a reset. Okay, this case is reset to August the 5th, 2024. Ms. Carol, your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go. Stay in contact with your bondsman and your attorney, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Jeffries, that's it for right now. So the other case on hold. Okay, all right. Hmm? Oh, who? Well, you had some, they have some other lawyers who was here before you. Mr. what's that? That's with Mr. Paget. He may be in the hall. See if he's in the back. Okay. Paget is going to give him to. Do we have, Mr. Rojas?
I'm waiting on the Mrs. on.
Right, is Ochoa. Okay, well, you can come on up.
Mr. Parker's happy about that.
Mr. President, Charlie.
Trouble.
First one was Ochoa. Just signed that, and it should be coming to you.
No, it's not, it's what to do.
Okay, just sign the second one on Ochoa. Mr. Ross, you should be able to get those.
Thank you.
You are.
This one's mine.
Next case is David Buchanan, David Kyle Buchanan. Mr. Buchanan, your full name is David Kyle Buchanan.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Buchanan?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Buchanan. You're representing your case by your attorney, Alan Parker, Attorney Parker. How are you doing?
Good, Judge.
And Mr. Parker, what is your announcement in Mr. Buchanan's case?
Your Honor, I have an offer. I think we're gonna be able to resolve it. I need a short reset, a couple weeks to be able to go with my client. You can put it on the truck, you can put it on the plea docket if you'd like.
Okay, we're gonna reset this for plea. This case is a pretty loose case. Reset it for a plea. David Buchanan, page 4 of the announcement docket. What day?
August 5th.
Okay, this case will be reset to August 5th of 2024. Ms. Buchanan, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
One other place at the plea judge.
What docket's that?
Nancy Foster, he's on the announcement docket.
He's on pre-trial? She said so.
Pre-trial, yeah, thank you.
Yes. Take your hand off the bench.
Sorry.
Foster. He's on the announcement act. Jefferson County Code of Law number 2 is in session and cause number 23 CCCR 0507. Case is style state of Texas versus Yancey Roy Foster. Mr. Foster, is that your, what, Yancey Roy Foster Jr.? Mr. Foster, is that your full name? Mr. Foster, please raise your right hand. Mr. Foster, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Foster, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Foster? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Foster, you're representing your case by your attorney, Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, do you waive a record in Mr. Foster's case?
We do, Judge.
Mr. Foster, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Yancey Roy Foster, on or about December 11th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Foster, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
To this charge, Mr. Foster, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Foster, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials. On the line next to a box says check nolo contendere, which means no contest. Just place your initials on this document. On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of the Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document. And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Have another document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Foster, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
Is everything in these documents true and correct?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Foster, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State?
For stage 1.
Any
No
objections? No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Parker, you've advised and counseled Mr. Foster. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Foster, your attorney, Mr. Parker, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Foster, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain
We do,
agreement?
Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
State has offered 180 days probate over 15 months with a $750 fine, 60 hours community service, DWI standard conditions, and the installation of the in-law device.
He already has the interlock.
What's the court cost in this case? Okay, Mr. Foster, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a DPS fine of $100, a stand-up fine of $750. You'll be required to pay court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should the further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is, total amount that you will be, hold on a minute, did that wrong. Okay, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $170 a month. Will you be able to pay the $170 each month?
Yes.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, install an interlock device on the vehicle that you own or operate. Your attorney said that you already have that device, so you'd have to maintain that device. You will also be required to attend and complete a DW education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Now, Mr. Foster, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Foster, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Foster, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Foster, please stand next to the bailiff, follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 0970, case of style of state of Texas versus Wallace Mac Albert.
Charlie J. Michael Watson, he's home with a $6.
Okay,
I have
okay.
Okay.
Albert. Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0970, case of style of state of Texas versus Wallace Mac Norbert Jr. Mr. Norbert, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Norbert, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Norbert, did you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norbert, you may put your hand down. Okay, whose phone is going off? Okay, you need to go check on that.
Have a phone. Okay, see if that's your phone.
Okay, you need to go outside with that phone.
That phone is off on my list.
Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0970, case of style, state of Texas versus Wallace Mac Norbert Jr. Mr. Norbert, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norbert, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Norbert, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norbert, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Norbert?
I'm doing good today.
That's good. Mr. Norbert, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for that.
And Mr. Macy, do you waive a record in Mr. Norbert's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norbert, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Wallace Mack Norbert Jr., on or about October 3rd of 2023, while you were, April 3rd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest or certain transportation. Mr. Norbert, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
To this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Norbert, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. You recognize this document?
Sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contendere, which means no contest. Place your initials on this document.
Sir.
On the next document, there's a signature above the line that's titled, that is initials here. You need to place a signature where the initials are at the top. You need to erase. You could just use that pen as an eraser, the back part, and place your signature on that document. Oh, that's his signature. Is it?
Yes, that's a signature.
Okay, this is your signature.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now on page. On the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's two boxes checked. There are two boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Okay, Mr. Norbert, before you sign in, Norbert, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Norbert, I read your answers. Okay, now, Mr. Norbert, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State,
Up for 6-1.
any objections to Mr. Macy?
No objection.
No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macy, you've advised and counseled Mr. Norbert. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Norbert, your attorney, Mr. Macy, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Okay, Mr. Norbert, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
Stays up to 1 year for probation, with a $300 fine and 50 hours community service.
Okay, what is the court cost in this case?
$277.
277. Okay, Mr. Norbert, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation, during the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300, court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $6 a month. Are you appointed in this case?
Yes,
I
sure.
have to ask you that. Hold on a minute. It's 250. $17. Okay, let me just sit all over. 1742. Okay. Now, Mr. Norbert. Mr. Norbert, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine, $300. You'll be required to pay court costs of $277. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $158 a month. Will you be able to pay the $158 a month? You will? Okay. You will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service. And you would adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Mr. Norbert, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just? Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Noble, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Noble, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction in your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can ask your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Macy, like you had a question?
Well, Your Honor, my question really was to Mr. Norbert. He told you that he could pay those fees. So I asked him whether he had a job. He's 18. He's in high
Okay,
school.
does he have a source of income? Okay, how are you expecting to pay it?
You were gonna try to get it from your mother.
Oh, well, that's not your mother's responsibility, that's your responsibility. Now, let me see his affidavit of indigence. Okay. When the court asks you a question, and we're not trying to, it's not gonna, prevent the plea from going forward. Okay, that's not the reason why I'm asking the question.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking the question to see if you can or cannot afford to pay it. Okay, and then if you can, we'll go one way. If you can't, we'll go another way, but it still won't affect the plea bargain.
Yes.
In a sense that the plea will not be rejected by the court is what I'm trying to say. Okay, do we have this affidavit in this? Okay. Okay, now, Mr. Norbert. Yeah. I have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. I'm handing this document to your attorney, and he will hand this document to you. Mr. Norbert, do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that document, top left-hand corner, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant's Signature. Is that your signature? Okay, now, Mr. Norbert, is everything in this document still true and correct today? Okay, Mr. Norbert, the court is going to find that you're indigent. Let's see. This is 26. Yeah, is that 0.05? Okay. 26.05. G-11, right? I think it's G-11. G-11. That's what it is. Okay. And let's see. Court costs. Okay, this is 577. It's 46. And it's 25. Okay. Fines and costs. Awesome. It's code provision. Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Noble. Just state as often that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you pay a fine of, it's $500, pay a fine of $300, plus court costs of $277. Now, first of all, the court is going to find that you're injured pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. So the fine and court cost is going to be converted to 46 hours of community service. All right. Now, the attorney's fees of $250 will be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 G1 or D-11 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And the probation fee in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 42A.625 subsection subsection C. So let's see, that's 195. 195. Actually, so your probation, so the fees that you'll be paying each month is, well, you're required to pay the $180, well, 15 a month for the, your analysis fee. And you'll also be required to pay, a $15 flat fee for the, reimbursement fees. So your total monthly installments will be $18 a month. Will you be able to pay the $18 a month? Okay, you're gonna have to, I can't waive those. Okay, so it's $18 a month. $18.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, $18 a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service. 50 hours of community service is in addition to the 50 hours of community services. So you'll be required to perform a total of 96 hours of community service.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this probation. Now, you understand the state's offer
Yes,
and the court's findings and adjustments?
yes, sir.
And do you think it's fair and just? And do you accept it? Okay, Mr. Norbert, I'll follow plea bargain agreement with the court findings and adjustments in this case. If you successfully complete your probationary period, your case will be dismissed. And you will not have a conviction on your record. And you can ask your attorney, well, you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay, please, you're gonna stand next to the bailiff and follow her. Well, just have a seat. They need to do your paperwork.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
That was not the case, so I can be excused.
Yes, you may be excused. You have a blessed day. Who else do we have? Mr. Damian Castle. Okay, this is cause number M331514. Hold on a minute. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Damian Castle. Mr. Castle, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Castle?
Fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Castle. You representing your case by your Attorney Thomas Roebuck. Attorney Roebuck, how are you doing? And Mr. Roebuck, what's your announcement in this case? Okay, because I see you have a set for a plea. Now give us a trial date.
August 12th.
Okay, this case will be reset to August 12th, 2024. Mr. Castle, your attorney's gonna get you reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And I thank Mr. Roebuck. This is on the case. You're free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
You won't.
Okay. Mr. Okay, Mr. Cole,
Yes, sir.
this is cause number M330658. Case is solid state of Texas versus. Is that Patty Clinton Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, your full name is Cody Clinton Williams? Cody Clinton Williams. How are you doing, Mr. Williams? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Williams. You representing your case by your attorney, Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
Great, Judge. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Cole. What is your announcement in Mr. Williams' case?
Yeah, can we set this on a pre-trial conference?
Okay, give us a reset date, free trial,
Yes, sir.
August the 5th.
August 5th. Okay, this case will be reset to August 5th, 2024. You can get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day. Sir, what's your name?
Keith Jackson, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, won't you come forward? How are you doing, Mr. Jackson?
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Here on Robin Lane, Your Honor.
Mr. Lane? What number is this? Page 2 of the announcement? Okay, it's Brenton Jackson. Okay.
Yes, Brenton Keith Jackson, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0622, case of style of state of Texas versus, how do you pronounce your first name? Robin? Okay, because it had the E on, okay. Robin Tristan Lane Jr. How you doing, Mr. Lane? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Lane. You're represented by your attorney, Attorney Jackson. How are you doing?
I'm well, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, this case is on our announcement docket. What is your announcement?
Your Honor, the state and I have come to an agreement on a conditional dismissal on Mr. Lane's completion of a effective decision-making course.
Okay. What, now what's the length of that course?
It's
Is
an
it,
8-hour course, Your Honor.
oh, it's just an 8-hour course. So, I would imagine this case is to be reset by the next setting. Is that correct?
It is. I expect to have this completed and the certificate of completion forwarded to the state prior to the end of this month.
Okay.
So that neither of us will have to appear
Right.
again here.
Okay, so what we'll do is just give us a standard reset. Yes, page 2, the last case,
August 19th.
August 19th. Okay. This case is being reset to August 19th, 2024. I'll just say it's to be dismissed. And we just note that in the record as well. Upon completion. There's he has to take a course, and upon completing that course, this case is going to be dismissed. Is that correct, Mr. Hubel?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, what's the name of the course again?
Effective decision-making.
Effective.
And Your Honor, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you should be eligible to have a non-disclosure on this charge once it's completed.
Well, I don't, well, this case is being dismissed.
Okay.
And so, well, once the case is dismissed, you're gonna have to see whether or not it's, whether it's disclosure or expunction. I mean, it's gonna go one of those two ways.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll speak with the state to clarify.
okay, yeah, okay. Okay, now, Mr. Lang, your case is gonna be reset. Once your case is reset, okay. Mhm.
The wood, so we can get out of here, Mr. Forwood. I mean, sure.
Yeah, you can just call them up when,
Okay.
yeah, you can just call them up when, when you're ready. Okay.
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 Take a look.
All right, so. Okay, yeah. Why do I have Zoom?
But that's your phone number. But,
Must have put on the. Is that Ouye?
Also, we have.
Is that Ouye Econ?
saying
And this is cause number M330272. Case is style the state of Texas. Am I pronouncing it? Is it Ouye?
Uyai. Yes, sir.
Uyai?
Mhm.
Okay, Uyai Econ. And Miss Econ, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're welcome. And Miss Econ, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Laura Perazzo. Attorney Perazzo, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. You're welcome. Now, Miss Perazzo, this case is on the court's trial document. What it states, what's your announcement?
State's ready.
State and Miss,
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
okay, now we scheduled to pick a jury at 1:30. We have a number one case, so you still have to appear in case something happens with that number one case.
Your Honor, we are actually, and according to Mr. Hebel, if he agrees with that or not, we would like to request a bench trial.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so we'll do that bench trial. Just have a seat. Once we get our,
I wouldn't be prepared to do that this morning.
you wouldn't? Okay. So we're gonna probably have to do it for at the end of this week. You know, we have a holiday Wednesday. Yeah, we off Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
So we off, so we have a jury trial set. We're picking a jury at 1:30 this afternoon. I don't know how long that trial is going to last. But we probably can, I guess, get to it toward the end of the week.
Okay.
Okay,
Unless the state decides to do something else.
Right.
Which then.
right. Right. So, Mr. Hubel,
You're on.
we probably gonna have to do this one toward the end of the week.
Okay.
How long did,
State intends to call 2 witnesses at this point.
we probably could do that on Friday then. We probably could do it on, because I anticipate if we pick a jury today and then we have Tuesday, and then we're gonna have to maybe come back. How long is the jury trial? How long do you anticipate that trial lasts?
I believe we have 4 or 5 witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's set this here for Friday. We shouldn't have a long docket, so we could do it at 11 o'clock. Okay.
Bench trial.
Bench trial. Yeah, Friday at 11, yes.
I am driving from Houston, and I think this week there was a weather.
I mean, if it's a weather alert, I mean, we'll just have to reset it on a different day. Okay, but for right now, we're gonna set it for Friday at 11.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Ron.
Okay, you get your reset, you're free to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Kelly?
Yes, Judge.
Margarita T. Loza? This is cause number M 333-712, case of style state of Texas versus Margarita T. Loza. Ms. Loza, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Loza?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Loza, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Kelly, this case is on the court's pretrial conference docket. What's your announcement?
Judge, can we stay on this docket? I'm still trying to get to a resolution without the necessity of a trial.
Well, I don't know about that because,
It's time to move
this,
this to the.
yeah, this case has to be moved to the trial docket. Okay, we're gonna reset this case for trial. Give us a reset date.
August the 12th.
Okay, this case is set for August the 12th, 2024. Ms. Loza, your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Judge.
And Mr. Kelly, this is your only case?
I have one more.
You have another? Okay, Gregory Wayne Edwards III. It's on the announcement docket. Mr. Edwards, your full name is Gregory Wayne Edwards III, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Edwards? I'm blessed as well. Mr. Edwards, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, what is your announcement on this case?
Your Honor, we were reset in drug court this morning. I was advised that we'd probably get the reset date before the week is over, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. So I don't have that date to say to the court right now.
Okay, so what we're gonna do,
It'll be in July sometime.
we're gonna reset this case with your felony case. We don't have that reset date now. However, the court coordinators are going to check the computer throughout the week until we get a reset date, and we will set it on that same date. Okay? So once you get your reset, well, you're free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. What is Mr. Boudreaux? Mr. Boudreaux left? Okay.
Thank you.
Macy, Walker, Rojas. I saw Mr. Yeah, okay, here we are. You guys on Zoom. What, yeah, once you come on up, Mr. Shalander. Okay, this is cause number 24-CCCR-0260, case style of state of Texas versus Anthony Joseph Williams, the senior. Mr. Williams, your full name is Anthony Joseph Williams Senior, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Williams?
I'm not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Williams, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Mel Shalander. Attorney Shalander, how are you doing?
Okay, for an old fellow, Judge.
And Mr. Shalander, what's your announcement in Mr. Williams' case?
Your Honor, I think this is our first, maybe our first.
Probably is, yeah, this is it.
I'd like to reset it on the announcement docket one more time. He's in California.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to really go over the evidence I've got.
Okay, give us a reset date. Yes, on the announcement docket.
And we're gonna keep it August the 19th.
It's on August the 9th. Okay, this case will be reset to August the 19th, 2024. Mr. Shalander will get your reset. Mr. Williams, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient with us. And Mr. Shalander, this is your only case?
Yes, sir.
Once you get your reset, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right. James Benton Matlock,
Yes, Your Honor.
we have two cases.
I'll send you.
Those are both dismissals per request.
Oh, they dismissals? Okay.
I'll just send it.
Mr. Matlock, your full name is James Benton Matlock?
Yes, Your Honor.
How you doing, Mr. Matlock?
All right, sir.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Matlock, I have dismissals in each one of your cases, cause number 23CCCR 1196 and cause number 23CCCR 1606. Is that correct, State?
That's correct, Your Honor. For
And-
request of witness.
Okay, and I'm signing the dismissals. The attorney will get a copy of your dismissals from our court coordinators. Once you get a copy of the dismissals from the court coordinator, Mr. Grove, you and your client will be free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Now, stand in front of the court coordinator. I just signed that first one. Okay. Kashan Ahmad? Is that Kashan Ahmad, Mr. Boudreaux? Is that your case?
Sorry, Judge, I was trying to get a hold of somebody else.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we saw you here earlier, then we looked up, we didn't see you.
Andrew,
Yes, thank you.
This is. Okay, this is cause number 24CCC 0878, cases style of state of Texas versus Ashan Ahmed.
Yes.
How are you doing, Mr. Ahmed?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine. Mr. Ahmed, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Ahmed, you may put your hand down. Mr. Ahmed, you're represented in your case by attorney Todd E. Tikosh. Mr. Tikosh is not present. However, standing in for Mr. Tikosh is attorney Don Boudreaux. Does Mr. Boudreaux have your permission to stand in for Mr. Tikosh? Okay. Mr. Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, sir.
And Mr. Boudreaux, do you waive a record
Yes,
in Mr.
sir.
Tikosh's, in Mr. Ahmed's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ahmed, I have before me a complaint that was filed by the city of Beaumont. In this complaint, it alleges that you, Kashan Ahmed, on or about January 20th of 2024, while you were in the city of Beaumont in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class C misdemeanor offense of an improper turn right to left. Mr. Well, you need to go and find out whose phone is ringing.
I think it's Mr. Boudreaux.
Is that your phone ringing? Mr. Boudreaux, you have a briefcase?
That's your phone ringing, Mr. Boudreaux.
I'm sorry, sir.
Now, do you have a phone in your briefcase, on your carrying case? Do you have a telephone in your carrying case, a cell phone? Sound like it was ringing.
It's on you, Don.
No, he has one on it, but it wasn't coming from here. So that wasn't Mr. Boudreaux.
Okay.
Wait, let me make sure something. No,
Okay, you're all right. All right. Now, let me do this here. Mr. Ahmad, I have before me a complaint that was filed by the city of Beaumont in Jefferson County, Texas, and it alleges that you, Kashan Ahmed, on or about the January 20th of 2024, while you were in the city of Beaumont of Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class C misdemeanor offense of improper turn right to left. Do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no comment.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ahmed, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay. Now, on page 2 of this, now on this document, there's on the first page, there's one box that's checked. It says this is a Class C appeal, a fine that does not exceed $500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's the range of punishment. On page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials, KA, on the line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked.
Yes.
The box that's checked, the first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Ahmed, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over? Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Ahmed, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
CL for States 1.
Mr. Boudreaux, do you have any objections to State's Exhibit Number 1?
No, sir.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Boudreaux, you advised and counseled Mr. Ahmed, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
And Mr. Ahmed, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The state has offered $50 fine with court costs in this case, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the court cost? It's on there, it's the last page. Okay. 277. That's 320. Okay, now, Mr. Ahmed, the state is offering that you that you pay a fine of $50. Those court costs are $277, which comes to a total of $327. Will you be able to pay the $327? You will also be required, now, Mr. Ahmed, that you would have to pay that fine and court costs today. You're in the county clerk's office. Now,
I'll go
Mr.
down with him.
You'll go down with it? Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Ahmed, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Ahmed, our policy people are in agreement that you have entered into the state. Mr. Ahmed, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff, and then you'll be, she just went in the back. You'll be free to go once you finish following the directions of the bailiff. Okay, just hold on. Or just have a seat in that first chair. And we're gonna call you back up. Yeah, just have a seat in the chair. Oh, there, well, here she is. You sending me what? Mr. Hall, what, who? He has two, please?
Yeah, it's on the same.
Or Don Henry Vega?
Yes, sir. Your Honor. No.
Jefferson County is in session in two cases. They are cause numbers 23CCCR 1744 and cause number 23CCCR 2291. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Don Henry Vega. Mr. Vega, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vega, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Vega, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vega, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Vega?
Yourself.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Vega, you represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. And Mr. Hall, do you waive a record in Mr. Vega's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Vega, in cause number 23CCCR 1744, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Vega, it alleges that you, Don Henry Vega, on or about May 31st of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. I see that the state says it's reduced.
The state's abandoning the enhancement, Your Honor, to a class B.
Okay, so the state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph. And Mr. Vega, what that means is, instead of being charged with a Class A misdemeanor offense, a DWI offense, you're being charged with a lesser included DWI offense, which is a Class B misdemeanor DWI offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I need to write this on here, state. Okay. Now to the Class B misdemeanor offense, DWI offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Baker, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It's also labeled State's Exhibit 1. You'll notice that there's a sentence that I wrote here, a statement stating that the state abandons the enhancement paragraph, and you see my initials. Now, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that say guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Vega, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Hall, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Hall went over? Did you read and understand everything that Mr. Hall went over with you?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the
sir.
best of your knowledge? Okay. Now, Mr. Vega, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State up for states 1.
Any objections to State's Exhibit number 1?
No objection, no.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you've advised and counseled Mr. Vega in this case. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vega, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, Mr. Vega, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 1 year deferred, $500 fine, 60 hours community service, court costs, DWI standard conditions plus interlock. And this is running concurrent with clause 2.3 CCR 2291.
That's correct.
What's the court cost in this case?
392.
3, 2. Okay, Mr. Vega, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a standard fine of $500. You'll also be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. You'll be required to pay court costs of $392, probation fee of $60 a month, urinalysis fee of $15, reimbursement fee of $15. Now, the $15 urinalysis fee, that's $15 each month. The reimbursement fee is just a one-time $15 fee. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $173 a month. Will you be able to pay the $173 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will be required to attend and complete the DWI education class. You will be required to have an alcohol assessment and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Now, Mr. Vega, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Vega, this case will also run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR 2291. And Mr. Vega, the court will follow the plea bargaining agreement. Now, let's see, we're gonna go to your next case. And Mr. Hall, you are waiving a record in these cases, is that correct?
I'm sorry, sir.
You're waiving a record in these cases?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Vega, I have before me your other case, cause number 23CCCR 2291, case South State of Texas versus Henry Vega. I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet, which was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Vega, it alleges that you, Don Henry Vega, on or about February 25th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. Mr. Vega, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Vega, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vega, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials above the line, or next to the line is check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
I did, Your Honor.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is, Your Honor.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line? It's titled Defendant.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vega, before you signed in and issued these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge? The state I have before me states Exhibit 1, state you like off states 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection, states Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you've advised and counseled Mr. Vega in this case. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Vega, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competently representation in this case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vega, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 1 year deferred, $500 fine, 60 hours community service, court costs, DWI standard conditions, and interlock. And this will also run concurrent with 23 CCR 1744.
Okay. What's the court cost in his second case? Okay, now, Mr. Vega. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation during the 1 year probationary period. You'll be required to pay a DPS fine of $100, standard fine of $500. You'll also be required to pay court costs, in this case, in the amount of $392. The probation fee, in this case, you will not be required to pay the probation fee, but because you're already paying a probation fee in your companion case. And your analysis fee, you probably won't be required to pay that because you're paying that in the companion case, and you're also paying a reimbursement fee. So your total monthly installments will be $90 a month. In this case, will you be able to pay the $90 a month?
Yes, sir.
Now, your probation paperwork is going to show that you're required to pay those other fees that I just mentioned, the probation fee, the urinalysis fee, and the reimbursement fee. But your probation officer is going to make that adjustment when the case gets, once you bring your paperwork to the probation office, they're going to make that adjustment because you can't be charged probation fee twice, and reimbursement fee and your urinalysis fee. Okay? All right. Now, you also be required to perform 6 hours of community service. In this case, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to attend and complete EDW education class, have an alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and condition of probation. This case will run concurrent with cause number 23 CCCR 1744. And do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Baker, if you successfully complete your probationary period, in these cases, you may qualify for non-disclosure. You could talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent on those matters. Because the reason why I say that is because these cases are going to be dismissed. It will not result in conviction and record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. And again, you can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in these matters. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this will conclude your cases. You're gonna stand next to in front of the court coordinator, next to the bailiff, follow the bailiff's direction. Once you finish following the bailiff's direction, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next case is cause number M333-242, case of style of state of Texas versus Stephen Renaud Campbell II. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
He's on the announcement docket, page 1. And Mr. Campbell, full name is Stephen Renaud Campbell II. Is that correct?
Renard, R-E-N-A-R-L-E.
Renard? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Campbell?
Right.
That's good. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Campbell. You're represented by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Great, Judge. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And Mr. Galmore, what's your announcement in this case?
Judge, we had asked for one last announcement date. We've been waiting a while for a new case to be filed out of this. So there was an arrest for DWI. It was never filed, and we're past the statute of limitations now.
Okay.
So it looks like we're only going to have this one particular case.
Okay.
Mr. Campbell lives in Houston. We're going to make arrangements to review the video. We're going to look at some legal issues, and then we will be ready to either take a plea at the next setting or set up a trial.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on a trial docket. It's
Okay.
600, yeah. Let's reset it, put it on a trial docket. So you still can enter a plea before then.
Absolutely.
What is it?
August.
Okay, this case is reset to August the 12th, 2024. Mr. Campbell, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. Next case is Lane Hunter Sehusen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Sehusen, your full name is Lane Hunter Sehusen.
Yes,
How are you doing, Mr. Sehusen?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. And Mr. Sehusen, you're represented by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, what's your announcement in Mr. Sehusen's case?
Like a trial setting, Judge.
Okay, give us a reset for trial.
August the 12th.
Okay, this case is reset to August 12th, 2024 for trial. Mr. Sehusen, your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
You're free to go. I have a plea too, Judge. I don't know.
No, okay. Is that forehand? Okay, Eric Lee Forehand, cause number 23CCCR 0374. Case of style of state of Texas versus Eric Lee Forehand. Trial conference. Mr. Forehand, your full name is Eric Lee Forehand?
Yes, sir.
Forehand, would you please raise your right hand? Forehand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Forehand, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Forehand? That's good, Mr. Forehand. You're representing the case by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore You will have a record in Mr. Forehand's case.
We do, Judge.
Mr. Forehand, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Eric Lee Forehand, on or about January 14th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place. Now, Mr. Forehand, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Okay.
And to discharge Mr. Forehand, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. It should be Class A misdemeanor. You gotta check that out. Just put it at, just check that Class A box. Erase the DWI box. Okay, now, Mr. Forehand, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled State's Exhibit 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, EF, on a line next to a box that's checked nulla contingere, which means no contest. You place your initials on this document.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature at the top of this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Forehand, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Forehand, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Galmore, you've advised and counseled Mr. Forehand. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Forehand, your attorney, Mr. Galmore, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Forehand, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For defendant's plea of no contest, the state has offered 90 days probation over 1 year with a $500 fine, 60 hours community service, interlock device, and DWI standard conditions of probation.
What's his score cost?
377.
Mr. Bohan, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you'll not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. You will also be required to pay a standard fine of $500 You will also be required to pay court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a analysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $172 a month. Will you be able to pay the $172 a month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You're required to have is that an interlock device installed on any vehicle that you own or operate? You're required to attend and complete the DW education class. And you will also be required to have an alcohol assessment, as well as adhering to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Forehand, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Forehand, I'll follow. You are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Forehand, you're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following her directions, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day. Okay. Cleveland Thomas. That's the one we had on hold.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, does, okay, what's y'all announcing? State?
State's ready.
Okay, state's ready. So y'all be back at 1:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay, be back at 1:30. Janar Rahman.
He's here, Your Honor.
Pre-trial conference docket.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How you doing, Mr. Vasquez?
Good, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Just a reminder, your full name is that Shanar Ramar? How are you doing?
I'm all right, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Rahman, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Vasquez. Attorney Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. And Mr. Vasquez, this case is on the court's pretrial conference docket. What's your announcement?
Judge, if you could give us one reset, I think we could have it worked out by next time.
Okay, this is not an old case. Yeah, you just wanted just a few months ago. Okay. Give us a reset, keep it on pretrial conference.
August 5th or the 19th.
Which one?
19.
Okay, this case will be reset to August 19th, 2024. Once you get your reset, Mr. Rahman, from your attorney, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, get your reset. And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Is that the only case you had?
Yes, sir.
Malcolm Buckley?
Good.
Court is in session in two cases, cause numbers 23 CC Ciara 2444 and cause number 23CCCR 2445. Both cases are styled State of Texas versus Malcolm Buckley. Ms. Buckley, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Buckley?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Buckley, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. And Mr. Smith, what's your announcement in Mr. Buckley's cases?
Your Honor, his pending cases are in drug court. That was just at this morning, and they were reset to August the 12th, and we're asking that this matter be carried with it.
Okay.
Be reset to August the 12th.
Okay. Okay, we're going to do that, and I see Mr. Buckley, I don't need to give him some bond conditions in these cases. Let's see. You know, Mr. Buckley, I have some bond conditions that I'm gonna read to you. You will get a copy of these bond conditions before you leave. The document that I have before me is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. Following return of criminal information in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. You understand that condition? Now, condition number 3 and 4 does not apply. However, condition number 5 does apply. And it states the defendant is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition unless the defendant is a peace officer as defined by section 1.07 Texas Penal Code, actively engaged in employment as a sworn full-time paid employee of a state agency or political subdivision. Mr. Buckley, do you understand that condition?
Yes.
Now, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, the warrant will be issued for your arrest. You'll be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand? Okay. So just have a seat. Your attorney is going to get your reset and your bond conditions. Once you get your reset and your bond conditions, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Smith. Dondre Blewett? You just said it. Okay. Your full name is Dondre. Is that Dondre Blewett? Or DeAndre Blewett? Dondre. Mr. Blewett, could you please raise your right hand? Mr. Blewett, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Blewett, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Blewett? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Blewett. You're representing your case by your attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in Mr. Blewett's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Blewett, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Dondre Blewett, on or about August the 4th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place. Mr. Blewett, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Blewett, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that's checked guilty. You place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document, this must be your initials. But your signature on the next document is different. It having a place his signature on it, the back part of that cursor, the stylus is an eraser. Just erase and then.
Is that your signature? Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Blewett, have before me on page 3 of State's Exhibit number 1, a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me on paper a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Blewett, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State.
Yeah, for stage 1.
Okay.
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you advised and counseled Mr. Blewett. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Blewett, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Smith, Mr. Blewett, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For defendant's plea, the state has offered 15 months deferred probation with a $500 fine, 50 hours community service, the installation of an interlock device, and DWI steering conditions. This plea is to run concurrent with the felony case F22-41150.
Would you repeat that number?
F22-41150.
F-22-4150.
150.
41150, okay. What is the court cost?
392.
392.
Your Honor, asking for to waive the monthly as he is. This is gonna run concurrent with.
Well, that's gonna automatically be done.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's, okay. Mr. Blewett, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation during the 15-month probationary period. You'll be required to pay a DPS fine of $100, standard fine of $500. You will also be required to pay court costs of $392. Now, your paperwork is going to show that you are also required to pay probation fee of $6 a month, a year now, so $15 a month, and a reimbursement fee of $15 a month, which will be a total of 130, your probation fee of $136 a month. But in reality, the court costs, not the court costs, but the probation fee, your analysis fee, and the reimbursement fee, you won't be required to pay those because you are paying those fees in your felony case. And so therefore, your monthly installments is going to be $71 a month. Will you be able to pay the $71 each month? Okay. You will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend and complete a DWI education class, and you'll also be required to have a drug or alcohol assessment. And you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. This case will also run concurrent with cause number F22-41150. Mr. Blewett, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Blewett, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Blewett, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction in your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. I think that's okay. Now, Mr. Blewett, you're gonna stand in front of our court coordinators, stand next to the bailiff and follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Smith, this is your last case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, this is cause numbers 23 CCCR 2776. Excuse me. I'm gonna repeat that. Cause number 23 CCCR 2076. Cause number 23 CCCR 1338. Both cases are filed in the state of Texas versus Latcher Jake Williams Jr. Mr. Williams is present in court. He's represented in this case by his attorney. Burbank, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Burbank, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. And Mr. Williams, how are you doing? Doing good. Now, Mr. Burbank, what is your announcements in Mr. Williams' cases? And see here that he also has a third case.
He has, he has several, he has a felony, Your Honor, pending out of the 252nd.
Okay.
That has not been taken care of. I believe that once that's been taken care of, this one will be dispositive.
Okay, now, actually, he has 3 cases in this court. You are attorney of record on 2 of the cases. Third case, we just have a question at whether or not you represent him on the third case. Are you representing him on all his cases?
It's a good question. When he signed up, he had 2 misdemeanors and 1 felony.
Actually, this case just occurred. The offense date is April 24th of 2024.
Would you like to see my surprise face? I probably was not informed of that he had a brand new one. But I do recall him talking about something, Judge.
Okay.
At this point, I probably officially do not, but with his evading, it will probably all be taken care of at the same time. And as soon as I talk to Mr. Williams, I'll probably put a letter of rep in, Judge.
Okay, let me do this here before we move any further. Mr. Williams, I'm going to I need to give Mr. Williams some bond conditions. Okay, Mr. Williams, I'm going to give you some bond conditions in each one of these cases, on each of these cases, rather. I'm gonna give you bond conditions in each of these cases. Clause number 23 CCCR 0276, clause number 23 CCCR 1338, and clause number 24 CCCR 1336. Now, Mr. Williams, I have before me a document that is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. And it states as follows: following return of a criminal information in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named here and are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time is directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition? Now, condition number condition number 3 and 4 does not apply. However, condition number 5 does apply. It states the defendant is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition unless the defendant is a peace officer as defined by section 1.07 of Texas Penal Code, actively engaged in employment as a sworn, full-time, paid employee of a state agency or committed for subdivision. Do you understand that condition? Now, Mr. Williams, if you violate any one of these bond conditions, your bond can be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. You will be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Mr. Williams, do you understand? Mr. Williams, your cases are gonna be reset with your felony cases. And Mr. Burbank, what's his felony court date?
That's a good question, Judge. 6/24.
Okay, June 24th.
Yeah, 6/24. It's set for sentencing.
Okay, he said for sentencing on those cases, okay. These cases are gonna be reset on the same day, June 24th, 2024. Once you get your reset in these bond conditions, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay. All right, and Mr. Burbank, you also have your Arturo Varela.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Varela, would you please come forward? This is cause number 23CC Sierra 0198, case of Thousand State of Texas versus Arturo Varela. Mr. Varela, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Varela?
I'm doing good, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Thanks for being patient with us as well. Now, Mr. Varela, you were represented in the case by your attorney Tom Burbank. Mr. Burbank, what's your announcement of Mr. Varela's case?
Your Honor, before Mr. Hubel had the case, I was talking to the previous prosecutor in reference to some concerns I had in reference to the DWI and a conviction. I need to get a hold of Mr. Hubel, and also based on his response, we should be able to take care of this case without a trial.
Okay, we're gonna put this on a pre-trial docket. What's a pre-trial? August 5th? Okay, this case will be reset to August 5th, 2024.
I should be able to take care of it by that time, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Varela, you're gonna get your reset here. Once you get your reset from our court coordinator, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, your reset will be sent to you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Your Honor.
Now, thank you. Now, Mr. Burbank, you also had Javante Keith Turner, who did not appear.
Yeah, I have had no contact with him, Judge, because I wanted him to come in so I could discuss it. One being, he's on felony probation at this time, is my understanding, and I needed to ascertain whether or not part of that felony probation, there was an agreement with that prosecutor to take care of the misdemeanor case. But I have not heard from him.
Okay, so we're gonna call that case. This is call number 23CCCR 0760, case of Style State of Texas versus Javante Keith Turner. Javante Turner was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 o'clock for the court's announcement docket. At about 9 o'clock, the court's bailiff called the name of Javante Turner at the courthouse door. Javante Turner did not answer. Javante Turner has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 11:53 a.m. on today's date of June 17, 2024. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Javante Turner at the courthouse door? Javante Turner. Okay, Turner's name was just called at the courthouse door. Javante Turner did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Turner an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion? That motion will be granted. Javante Turner's bond will be forfeited. Warrant shall be issued for his arrest and cause number 23 CCCR 0760. Mr. Burbank, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Thank you. Who, yes.
Where?
That's right, some of those next door. That's the only one.
Seeing her here, but she's supposed to be.
Okay. Okay, court will be in recess. Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0558, case style of state of Texas versus Pravon Darrell Conley. Mr. Conley, is that your full name? Yes. How are you doing, Mr. Conley? Okay. That's good, Mr. Conley. You represented your case by your attorney, Attorney Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler, how are you doing?
Well, thank you.
That's good. Mr. Kimler, what is your announcement?
Ready.
You ready? State?
State's ready.
Okay. Okay, we have a jury coming at 1:30. Y'all need to be back here at 1:30.
Okay.
All right.
Is it number one or where is it?
Well, we have a number one setting, but you're on the list.
Okay. I'm back at 1:30.
Okay.